Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and this video is going to be going over the PTR next patch 2.6.4 for Diablo 3. Yes, it's happening. I'm going to get into it, tell you everything you need to know. Let's get into it. Alrighty, so it has happened. We're here. We thought Diablo 3 was in maintenance mode, but no. Here comes Blizzard with a curveball, throwing us a patch for the game. And a pretty crazy seasonal theme for Season 16 next season. Now, there is some speculation that maybe Blizzard is doing this because of all the backlash they've been getting recently, which, hey, you know, why not? I would be doing the same thing if I was them. You gotta give your hardcore PC fans something to be positive about and look forward to. So, to those people that are disappointed about a PTR, hey, like, Blizzard's trying. Like, we're getting something for next season, so at least it's not another season of the same old, same old. At least there is going to be variance in Season 16, and now let's dive into exactly what's changing. So, the PTR is going to be starting on this Wednesday, which I believe is going to be the 21st, November 21st. And this is actually pretty consistent with their normal timetables of PTR patches. Back in the day when Blizzard was releasing PTRs commonly, they would usually come out about 6 weeks in advance before the next season would start. So now Season 15 is going to end on December 16th. This is the first season that Blizzard has announced at the start of the season when it was going to end. So it's ending December 16th, which is about a month from today. And then there's probably going to be a week or two break in between seasons. So we're looking at about 6 weeks before this PTR patch goes live on a new season. So Blizzard's staying pretty consistent in terms of their timetable. And going over some of the important details here, I'm just kind of reading as I'm talking to make sure I don't forget anything. Patch notes, here we go. So one thing, and I really like this, is that the primal drops are going to be highlighted much heavier on the map and during the game. So I would have liked to see them increase the drop rate just a little bit. I mean, primals should be super rare, but I think they're just a little bit too ridiculously rare. I would have liked to see them buff it just a little bit. I think right now primals are about 1 in every 500 legendaries. I would have buffed it up to like 1 in every 400 to 450. Like, still super rare, but just a little bit more. Anyway, so what else? Now, I'm not seeing it here, but one thing they did add was that when you unlock primals, like when you complete your solo GR70, you're guaranteed a primal drop from that Rift Guardian. And that's really cool. It's kind of an introduction to primals. It's something to look forward to on a new season. Like, hey, you know, what class am I going to do my GR70 on? I hope I get that really good primal. And another thing is, I always have people in my videos or asking me questions in comments and stuff. How do I know if I have primals unlocked? I thought I did a GR70, but I haven't found one for like a week. Are you sure I have primals unlocked? This is going to show you that yes, you have primals unlocked. It's just going to be that validation of, oh, there's a primal. Primals are unlocked. I'm good to go. So I think two really good ideas there in terms of primals with Blizzard. Also, Paragon points during GRs. You can't adjust them anymore. This is a change that needed to happen a long time ago. You know, there's some gamesmanship going on with floating Paragon numbers around during GRs, pushing for rank 1 and stuff. So getting that fixed is long overdue. Good job, Blizzard. Season 16 is going to be the Season of Grandeur. So basically what this means is every character is going to have a Ring of Royal Grandeur by default. So it's basically adding a 4th ring slot, because you have the 2 that you're wearing, the 1 in the cube, and the 4th is a permanent Ring of Royal Grandeur. This is going to open up so many more builds for like speed farming, and there's going to be lots of changing and theory crafting going on here. I think it's a pretty good idea for a season by Blizz, so I'm happy for that. And then mainly it's going to be These are getting into like the bonuses now. So, Legacy of Nightmares. This is the Lawn set. The Litany of the Undaunted there that you see. It's that set, and the other ring is the Wailing Host. The set bonus increased from 100% to 500%. That's big, but I honestly don't know if it's big enough, because the other sets are getting buffed, too. This should honestly be like 700%. Like, in my opinion, if I was the game designer, Legacy of Nightmares should be the best set in the game, because it's the toughest to gear. You have to have every piece be ancient, like, to take advantage of that. So, in my opinion, it should be the best set. But it looks like Blizzard's at least trying to make it viable. And also, it has the most build diversity. You can stack a bunch of different legendary effects. You're not beholden to a certain set. Like, if I'm wearing the Unhallowed Essence set, I have to use multi-shot. There's just no other choice. Legacy of Nightmares gives players much more customization, and it's much tougher to gear. Like, in my opinion, that should be the end game, but it hasn't been forever. But anyway, it looks like they're trying to make it a lot more viable. That will help for sure. Barbarian getting sets across the board. It looks like the biggest one is going to be Might of the Earth. Whirlwind getting a massive upgrade. All the sets. I don't know why Raykor is getting such a big buff. I mean, it's already probably the highest pushing build for Barbarian, so that one's a little bit questionable. I could see this maybe dropping down to like 5.5 or 6,000. And it's also important to remember that these numbers are going to change. I don't remember a single PTR where what Blizzard announced as the PTR what was rolled out as the final version of what went live next season. So these things are going to get tweaked. There'll be another post from Blizzard in like 3 or 4 weeks, and these will have like red lines through them, and they'll be updated with new numbers. So these are going to get tweaked. Crusader getting some big buffs to Thorns, which is needed. It's probably still not going to be viable. Roland's getting a massive buff. You know, basically the common theme here is going to be massive buffs. So I'm not really going to go over everything down to the exact number. I'm just going to kind of go through this and highlight. Unhallowed Essence for multi-shot Demon Hunter is going to 100 to 350. Multi-shot is already an amazing build for bounties and farming keys. I mean, this is going to be smashing T13 now. Like, multi-shot DH is going to be awesome for speed farming. It already is. And now it's going to be, like, I'm definitely starting next season as a Demon Hunter. For sure. I don't care what the starting set is. Because they're all going to be, like, viable for T13. And then you can get your multi-shot set that weekend. Opening weekend. So, that covers DH. Excuse me. I mean, this is a huge buff. Ina's times 10. 10 times the buff. That's pretty incredible. And poor Necromancer. It's been king of the meta. So now the only thing it gets is Tragul's a slight buff. Honestly, the biggest problem with this patch is Inarius for Necromancer needs some hardcore love. Like, Inarius is garbage for Necro. I can't believe that isn't on the list for, like, if I could pick one set in the game that, like, needs a buff the most, it's probably Inarius. I mean, obviously there's other ones that are really bad, but Inarius is one of the worst in the game. So I expect that to be added to this list at some point during the PTR. And once Blizzard gets some feedback from players, I expect them to listen to that and add a pretty significant buff to Inarius for Necro. As far as Witch Doctor, Jade could be pretty good for speed farming. Increase from 1650 seconds to 10,000 seconds. So if you're not familiar with what that means, the 6-piece bonus gives you like a burst of damage based on how many seconds of damage over time. And this is buffing that from 1650 to 10,000. So that's a massive buff for the Jade Harvester set there on Witch Doctor. A little bit surprised that Firebird didn't get any love. It's really not that great. Wand of Woe Wizard is going to be really good for farming Death Breath. Getting this buff here. that uses the Talrasha set, 750 to 3000, so that could be cool. The other Death Breath build that's really good is the Crusader. And yeah, Akan isn't getting anything here. Okay, so what's funny is they did Crusader right, but they kind of did Barb wrong. Like, Akan is the obvious #1 build for Crusader, and it's not on here. It's not getting any buffs. But Raykor is getting a huge buff. So that's kind of interesting there. But yeah, so for next season, it's possible that Wand of Woe Wizard could be the best for farming Death Breaths, because that's a pretty big buff for Talrashas, and the Crusader Akan Death Breath farmer isn't getting any sort of a buff. So yeah, and then this goes, I'll leave a link to this post down in the video description, but if you want to, click on that, check it out. And if you want to play on the PTR, it's pretty simple. You just kind of follow these steps at the bottom of the page. It shows you how you can play in the PTR. If there's something you're dying to try out, if there's something that you guys want me to try out or make a video about, I will certainly listen to that feedback and try to make it happen. I'm still in the clothes I wore to work. This is kind of my work outfit. I was planning on having a normal day, go to work, go to the gym, maybe get my hair cut, and then around lunchtime, I saw that Diablo 3 is getting a PTR, and I was like, okay, I'm going straight home, and I'm working on a video. So, so really cool that we are getting a PTR for Season 16. And one thing I want to cover really quickly here before I end is reading on Reddit and stuff. I've been seeing a lot of negative feedback towards Blizzard. And what I've decided is I'm probably going to do a separate video on that, because I don't want this video to be like a 30-minute video. So expect a video probably coming this week. I'm going to talk about how ridiculous I think this PTR patch getting as much negative press as it is in my opinion. Because, hey, we thought Diablo 3 was in maintenance mode. Blizzard's trying. They're trying to listen and give us something for the hardcore gamers. Is it an amazing patch? No. But hey, is it a reason to play next season? Is it a reason to dive in and try new builds and test things and start theory crafting metas again? Absolutely it is. So, but anyway, I'm also gonna dive into the whole PoE versus Diablo thing, barking at each other and the player bases of each kind of arguing with each other, and I think that's just ridiculous. I have a few opinions on that I want to dive into. I'll probably do it in that video where I talk about the feedback for this patch. So look for that coming up in the next few days here. And as always, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.